I've my voice, but not my spirit, calling this work session August 28th, 2025 to session. Uh, Mary Hanson, would you read or do a call to order?
Sure. First, I want to ask, do we have it? We don't have any electronic participation. Okay. All right. So roll call of members. Marjorie Austin.
Here.
Okay. Larry Tuning.
Here.
Alana Courtney.
Here.
The mayor.
Here.
Okay. I am here, Mary Hanson, Beth Justice.
Here.
And Robbie Wilson.
Here.
Okay. And now Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Special presentation by Friends of Urbana. Who's doing that?
I
Welcome, Joyce. Welcome back to
Welcome.
town.
Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joyce Allen, and I am here tonight as the liaison for Friends of Urbana and for the Museums of Middlesex, also known as MOM. MOM meets every month and is also part of the Middlesex VA 250 committee, which also meets every month. In the past 2 years, many of our events have been sanctioned by this committee and have been advertised on the Virginia's VA 250 website. Friends of Urbana supports the Scottish Factor Store and has been named as the advisory board to the town of Urbana for the museum. As most of you are probably unaware, MOM is made up of the 4 Middlesex museums, which are the Deltaville Maritime Museum, now represented by Raynell Smith.
Hi, nice to meet you all. I know some of you.
The Middlesex Museum and Historical Society in Saluda, represented by Marilyn South.
Hello, Marilyn.
And the Luna, represented by Captain and Officer John Collimore as part of the Colonial Seaport Foundation. And the James Mills Scottish Factor Store, also known as the Urbanna Museum, represented by me. I'd also like to introduce our president of Friends of Urbana, Aubrey Hall, which you all.
We all know.
He's here. Okay. Every year, as representatives of the separate museums, we put together an ask to the Middlesex County Commissioners for funding for our museums. This is a comprehensive document which outlines our past events and plans for the upcoming year. The museums are vital to the tourism in this industry and in this county, and work to promote our events, which in turn bring tourists to the towns for shopping, dining, and spending money. Many of you are aware that Bill Powell from the Deltaville Maritime Museum passed away a few months ago. He was our bookkeeper and record keeper for MOM. Raynell Smith has taken his place as the representative for the DMM. We usually distribute $5,000 per year to each of the museums and do have some operational costs, including a website, which was developed in the last year, a billboard rental, and some other miscellaneous costs. Since Bill's passing, we discovered that our bank account was very healthy and are distributing as a one-time check to each of the museums, $12,750.
Wow, nice.
Look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
Good job.
Aw,
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Penny Roberts.
Okay, let me stress that this money is for the Scottish Factor Store. The museum seems to be thriving since the front room has been refurbished and looks great. Friends of Urbana can take credit for the professional evaluation and then the remodeling of the front room to resemble a Factor store. If you've not seen it, you need to go over there this weekend. It looks great. Remember, this is the last remaining Scottish Factor store in America, and its preservation is extremely important. We all know the building structure needs work, and while some of it has been done, The front porch repair project will be huge. So as I hand this check over to the town of Urbana, please remember the work behind these funds. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Good job. You want to get a picture?
Hey, Rob, yeah, we get.
A picture?
Yes, we should.
Larry.
Larry,
Oh, you've got one.
I got the camera.
you got the camera.
Mom, people?
Don't you wanna?
Let's do it. We want this in the paper.
Bill, are you gonna go get with them? Yeah, Bill, go in there. Don't breathe on anybody.
Yeah.
Down.
Get out of your way.
Mhm.
You can get in the.
Oh. Who's getting this? Let me get back here. You're the person getting this.
You slip that over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We can.
Well, can you move?
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, Deb, for all that. It's all right.
That's all right. Okay.
Boost is a.
All right. Marilyn.
I was gonna say, can you see Marilyn?
Get it?
Can you see,
See you.
can you see John? Should he get over some more by Aubrey?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay.
I can see John. One more.
Get it right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, gosh.
Nice news.
That was nice. Running town.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ted has asked me to give a brief update on some of the findings. We have a moisture problem there with the building, as I'm sure if you've been down, you know. Joe Hyman's group, how many years ago, whenever the basement was done, when they put in the bathrooms and so forth, they sealed the inside of the building because the outside of the building cannot be sealed because of the structure, the brickwork and the moisture that's there. There is a French drain there, but we suspect that it's full or, stopped up. We suspect that it goes down if you're in the back of the building and look at the right-hand side, that downspout goes into the ground and the pipe goes underneath that concrete platform that's down at the very bottom. So it's really deep in the ground. He has Jamie from was it Laneview Environmental.
Yeah.
He has run some cameras up there, and as far as he can go was 70 feet, but it's open to that point. So the Joe Hyman suggested that we look at the inside of the building and suspect that the ceiling that they did then needs to be done again. Because we've got quite a bit of moisture that's seeping through that wall. And so Jamie's going to come, we're going to go look at it maybe tomorrow and try to ascertain if that's what the problem is. And so we'll go from there. We think right now that that's the main issue that we have to deal with is that moisture. We've got other issues, but they're old issues and they're not going anywhere. So they rust on the lintels over the windows. That's a slow rusting process. So
Right.
we can deal with that at a later time. But I think right now we need to deal with the moisture. So that's the update.
Thank you.
What about federal, since it's the last
Left in America, there's not some.
I know, there ought to be some,
somebody give
they ought to be beating their door down, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about writing our senators. Because I know there's some money that they have access to. I haven't done that yet, but that's on my thing to do.
Preservation Virginia doesn't. No.
They, well, they help in that they will give us permission to do what we need to do.
Yeah, because they own the building. We don't own that building.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have, and the Department of Historical Resources has given us permission to do whatever needs to be done to fix the problem, both the drainage and the lintels. So we've got that. That's all taken care of. So that's a good thing, really,
Yeah, absolutely.
because they told us not even dig a hole without them knowing it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but they realize that the French drain is not historical ground.
Mhm.
That's been done before. So
So what's the estimated cost?
Don't have one.
Not even a ballpark.
No,
It's gonna
we haven't
be-
gotten that far.
Yeah, not till
Hundreds of
Jamie
thousands.
goes.
I don't know.
I don't think
I
it
don't know.
costs a whole lot when they originally did it, when Joe did it.
Talking about when they originally.
Yeah.
did it.
No, I'm just, that's
about right now.
Yeah, but Jamie's,
But we'll take care of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
thank you, Aubrey.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Ray now. Thanks, Joyce.
Bye, John.
All right. Mark Smith.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Appreciate you listening a minute here. My name is Mark Smithson. I moved to the area about 2 years ago, mainly because I met my wife. I started back in May a local kayaking eco tours business called Chesapeake Eco Tours. It's been doing really well, been a lot of fun, but I wanted to comment in relation to agenda item 10A. I believe Megan and Mary will be speaking later on a proposal to enhance a kayak access point down at the town marina. So obviously running a kayak eco tour business, this directly impacts me. Just kind of wanted to make a couple points about how the access would enhance safety on the tours as well as tourism. So from a safety perspective, the current launches that we have, the one sort of down creek or to the left of the main office at the town marina, requires stepping over a wooden beam. You know, that beam can be lowered down to a certain level, provides an unnecessary risk for people stepping over that. So I've been running kayak tours through that access point, particularly in the evenings. You know, a lot of our tours are sunset tours. It's hard to see. People could potentially trip over that. So just having a little bit more of a clear access point there would go a long way. There is the concrete ramp that's available for use. If you all have ever walked on a concrete ramp, you know they can be quite slippery. They also increase the wear on people's kayaks. So, I mean, I've definitely noticed whenever I've had to use the concrete ramps and sort of shove people off, the bottoms get scraped up. It's going to apply to anybody else who comes here as well. Wanted to tell you all a little bit just from a tourism perspective about how I see a kayak access point being vital. So anecdotally from my tours recently, I've had sort of a mixture of clientele. Some are, looking at the website from Richmond or, DC. They'll contact me, say, hey, I'm thinking about coming down for a weekend. Can I get out on a kayak tour? One thing leads to another. These people are inevitably coming into town. Some of our tours are in the morning. They want a place to eat breakfast beforehand or a lunch when they get off the water. I can see it firsthand. We're driving people towards Urbana with these tours, not just from Richmond, not just from DC. We've had a couple people who are just, they live in Deltaville, they live in across the river. They want to expand their opportunities for kayaking. So, attracting tourism from these more local areas. So clearly, Chesapeake Eco Tours would benefit from some safer access points there. I also just think that the town in general would benefit from a tourism perspective. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. Like I said, I've been in Urbana for 2 years, but before that, I was in Suffolk, Virginia, Hampton. Really, I love being on the water. And from somebody growing up in Richmond, I would plan my vacations around where I could find access points. So I was driving all the way over to the Eastern Shore to Kiptopeke to launch, 2 hours or so. If I knew that there was an access point out of Urbana with the potential to see the beautiful marsh habitat we have here, the amazing fishing that we have in this location, I certainly would have had Urbana more on my radar. So I think it's just installing this access from a safety perspective, not just the people on my tours, but everybody else who's coming, as well as opening up an opportunity for tourism here that could drive growth of our local economy. So that's my main points. I think Megan will have more to say on that later.
You're talking about just north of the building?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think it's a great
Yeah.
spot. Is it a good spot to launch?
It's an amazing spot. Yeah. I mean, really the issue is the fence there. And, if we could just clear out a little bit safer of a path, I don't think it's going to be a lot of work at all, really. And I'd be willing to help with it. So
Were you talking about where you're talking about the boards being under the pier to go under the piers? Under the
not necessarily that, just,
okay,
just to land north,
okay.
essentially clearing out that fence line.
Because I know there's some,
Megan's honestly going to be able to provide more
I know
details on the
some board,
proposition.
that are fencing like that they put up by the piers. because they had planted grass in there. So
Just beyond the pier.
It's on the other side.
So it's
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
like if you're looking at the office from the parking
Right.
lot and you're looking out at the creek, with the office in front of the creek to the left.
to the
of
left,
office.
yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I
All right.
thought, but I just
Thank you
wanted.
for
Thank
what
you.
you're doing for those
Yeah,
cars.
thank you.
Mr. Costin, do you want to make a
That's a
comment on
draw.
that or?
I can make plenty.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so needless to say, I'm aware of the traffic regarding how easy it is just to go put a kayak launch in. You put a kayak launch in without a permit, and the town is responsible for the violations of the Federal Wetlands Act. Bottom line. Okay, so you got to go through the permitting process. There are 6 agencies that we have to get sign offs on. Okay? We have to get a sign off from the floodplain manager, which happens to be me. That's done.
That's good.
Okay. We've got to get a sign off from the local wetlands board. That's done. We got to get a sign off from the building official. That's done. Yesterday or the day before, I got the sign off from VMRC.
Good.
Today, when I got in from the governor's event, I started reading the 39, 40, 41 page document that I think tells us that we have an Army Corps permit. And
Oh,
I've got to read through all that. Okay. And we still have one to go, and that's with DEQ. Okay. This is not an easy task to go and get a permit for something as simple as a kayak that probably takes up that desktop right there in a total area of 180 square feet. If you want to know what 180 square feet looks like, look at a parking space. That's 180 square feet. Okay. The permit application started months ago just by getting the application and then working with the young man. I don't know how many times I've stood here and said, it's being done through an Eagle Scout service project. Okay.
Okay.
It's going to happen if we can get the permits. Okay. Because he's on a timeline. He's got to get through to be safe by the end of October. Okay. But that whole layout is there. If I'd known this was going to come up, we've thrown up some pictures tonight. But as you go north onto the property, go behind the flagpole, the fence, which people have already knocked over, that needs to be closed off because that's not our property on the other side of the fence. That's private property.
Right.
Okay.
That's not the way I understand it.
Mm-mm.
No, that is,
We have
It's been a survey.
it's been a survey.
There is a survey.
Well, I can see where the property line markers are. I can see where the GIS tells me that the Richwine property is to our north.
Correct.
We don't own that whole point.
Correct.
Where the fence is actually south of the property line. So what they're looking at doing is if you go up the ramp to the pier, there's still some fence there. That fence is going to get kicked over and everything between the fence and the pier ramp is going to be opened up. And that's where the launch is going to go in like a little storage bench or something. Okay. There are 2 bureaucracies going on, excuse me, 4 bureaucracies going on here. Okay. Local bureaucracy, state bureaucracy, federal bureaucracy, and Boy Scout bureaucracy. Okay. And I've been through 6, 7, 8 Eagle Scout projects. It's a different approach you have to take and manage and mentor that project. So I'd be happy to share the file with the gentleman so he can see exactly how it's being laid out and exactly what we've gotten permitted for so far, but we don't have the final permit.
well, where are we with filing or requesting that permit?
The permit's in.
Yeah, the permit
The
for
permit
construction.
application is in. The permit,
Okay.
but that permit application, it's called a joint permit.
Okay,
That permit gets sent into 6, 7, 8 different directions. So
so we don't know.
we have to wait for each one of those entities to come back to us and say, here's your permit. Most of them have said, this is exempt from permitting, but you got to have that exemption or that permit before you do anything.
So what's the Boy Scout deal? If they're
Because
taking
you've got
so
an Eagle Scout project.
Yeah,
and
but if
they-
they can't get it done and they're gonna take until we die, then can't we cut them loose?
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to toss away a young man's 7 years worth of work to get to this point.
But I mean,
But
is this gonna?
It's not his issue.
just Keeps dragging.
Done by the
He-
end of October.
He's got to have his project done by the end of October. But the project application process is outside of his control. That's why I said I will take on getting the application process, because that's not something it's a 17. I think we have 5 of the 6. Yeah.
I thought when he said he wanted or wanted to do this project for its Eagle Scout, that we said, okay, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of all of this other,
Yeah, that was like a year and a half ago.
yeah.
So,
I just don't remember all this process for all of this permitting.
Well,
So-
What you're talking about though, is ownership of land.
ownership of the
And
land.
We have been through this.
Mhm.
We had it surveyed, Gordon Jones, his company surveyed it and indicated we own 4 feet
Mhm.
on to the
No.
west, I call it, but you're gonna say.
Right,
Okay.
right. And that's where
So
the.
what we need to do, and maybe council needs to vote on it tonight, is just to have Gordon go back and place those survey markers where they go.
They're still there.
There.
Where they're not to the south of it, are they?
The fence is to the south, what I call the south of the markers. The marker is still there. I can,
Yeah, the markers are there.
the marker's there.
So what you're saying is we don't own 4 feet.
We do own, it's just, we do own 4 feet on the other side of the fence, not the marker.
when can we move the fence?
Because we're dealing with a regulated piece of ground, this piece of ground where the work's going to be done has been deemed to be filled wetland. Okay, it still has to go through the permit process. So to pick up that fence post and move it 5 feet over, you have to have a permit.
Sounds like you're on it.
That is ridiculous.
I'm trying, I am on it. And, and I think I'm the best person to be on it because I've been through this before. I've done wetlands in Greensville. I've done historic preservation over in Matthews. I've been through getting the federal permitting process. If somebody else wants to step in and take it over,
We've been going through this since 2022 and this is
Yeah.
the closest we've got. So please keep. what
all
you're
right,
saying.
okay.
I have 2
And-
questions. Number one is, and it'd be bad, but this is my plan B question. If we can't get our permitting done in time for this man to do his Eagle Scout project,
Mm.
which would be a disgrace, but it is what it is. Can we continue? Does it have to be done by him is my question.
No,
Do we have to start re-permitting all over again?
no, because they're not tying the permit to his Eagle Scout application, even though we made that an addendum to the application so that they would know that we weren't, that's a question. Are you using a contractor?
Mm.
How much are you paying the contractor? Well, we're not using a contractor, and here's the evidence that we're not using a contractor. Here's the kid's service proposal.
So if we can't get the permitting in time for him, the
He'll-
town
he's-
itself can continue the project to get it.
The town can continue the project.
I guess it
Yes.
doesn't help him with his Eagle Scout though, to put it
Well,
in his honor.
we
even
can,
though
we
he wasn't
can,
able to
we
do
can
the
find
permit.
him another project real quick.
But no, he's only doing the sign.
No, sir. He's doing the kayak launch.
Mm.
He's going to do the kayak launch. I- I will send you all the copy of the whole application. Okay.
What the plan looks like?
Yes,
for
we do.
each
That's
grade.
part of the application.
Good.
Yeah, that's part of the
good.
application.
Council will need to see that.
All
Right.
right, my second
So-
question, Matthews Courthouse has got a very nice floating kayak.
Mhm.
If we were to, and I know we haven't designed it yet, were we able, if this doesn't work out, could we put something in like that off of one of our docks? Does that require all of that permitting?
It's going to require all that permitting because we specified a particular location, a
area, yeah.
particular type of kayak launch.
Even though it's not disturbing wetlands, if we just put it off of, say, our kayak dock with a little ramp that went down?
I think every other dock you all have had to put in has had to go through some sort of permitting
Yep.
process.
Okay, just
Yeah.
curious. That's,
You're dealing with navigable waters of the United States.
But yet Hampton Roads can dump 700,000 gallons or 70,000 gallons a month of treated sewage into our creek. That's okay.
Yeah.
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 And now we've added another plan B with Mr. Smithson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope this happens, Mark, in your lifetime because it's probably not going to last.
well, I'm in the same boat. I have a canoe down there, which is a heavy canoe. I put my little 7 on there and zip around the creek, but I haven't done it this year because I can't launch the thing because the sand launch I was using, which I was one of the violators that goes underneath the boat ramp and get
Yeah.
out, but that's the only place I can launch that boat. You can't walk down the concrete and it tears the hull open.
I think
Well,
it's gonna happen.
So
I really do.
We're a lot closer, as somebody said, we're a lot closer than we've been before. But that aspect of the boat ramp, again, that would, I mean, they were like, why do you need this? Well, we need public access. People are using the facility, the whole marina to launch kayaks off of the boat ramp, and they're competing for space with the motorboats and everybody else. Okay, so you have a conflict of uses and you've got safety issues there. And then the other thing is, some folks are going through the area that we just had the shoreline project done on. And so we're damaging, environmental features that we spent money to try to preserve. So we laid out all those arguments as to why we need it and why we need it where we need it. And so far, it's rolled,
I appreciate your work. My questions aren't, is a criticism. I just, you know how I am, I like a plan B. and then
I know,
plan B,
and I
plan
appreciate it.
B.
I appreciate it's not a criticism. I think it needs to be stated publicly. It's not as easy as you think it is. Okay, and if you want to try your hand at it, have at it. Okay.
I might try my hand at it. I know as far as the grasses that go on Payne's Crab House, there was never any signs. Nobody had bothered to put any signs up. And I saw children pulling the grasses up and playing on it. And I went to Ace Hardware and bought a bunch of keep out signs and strung them around.
Appreciate that. And
I went down there and
Doesn't
ran some
take
kids off.
400 bureaucrats to get something done.
No, I went down there
Well, the
before
difference
you
in
put
what
those
it
signs
is
up and
and-
ran kids off.
What resource are you using? in regards to your tours,
What do you mean resource?
your tour, are you using the town kayak tour,
Yeah, the town. I'm still.
Blue Water
understanding the
Trail?
Question.
water trail, the town? water?
Just to some extent, but
Yeah.
I've basically just designed my own tours. I am familiar with the Blue Water.
Yeah.
It's added a lot of interesting.
Yeah, Larry did a
My focus is typically more eco tour. So I
Yeah.
find spots.
But
where
it's
there are
there for you
birds.
to use, what you tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry did a lot of work on that to get
I
that
understand.
out,
I just
so.
wanted to talk to Larry about the different stops on the tour and, really educate me a little bit more about where to take people for some of the stops. Yeah, when I read through it, it's amazing description. And some of them I can tie to different parts of the creek, but it'd be great to have your feedback on.
Yeah,
Providing a little bit
that's
more
good.
tour.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Appreciate that.
Great.
we're 5/6 of the way there. Once we get the permit, the young man is ready to cut loose, ready to go.
Good.
And we'd love to see the application,
I will-
mostly just because we want to see what the product is going to be.
That'll be right after we close on this building.
No, it'll be this evening.
You might as well stay up because
I need my notes.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in a feisty mood.
You're always a feisty. Yeah, I know.
All right. 9A.
All right, so
You and the-
your first action item 9A is a resolution 2025-16 street closures and traffic restrictions during the 2025 Urbana Oyster Festival. Section 7 of the Public Safety in-town parking vehicle movement in the Urbana Oyster Festival Master Plan 2025 states, and this is the plan you all just approved at your last meeting. The following street closures are made pursuant to a resolution passed by the town council. That's what's before you this evening, in accordance with the 2025 Urbana Oyster Festival permit as issued by the Department of Transportation. So we have to go through this process. Yeah, I know it's a bureaucracy, local, and then it goes to the state. The street dates and closures and times are enumerated in the master plan, but they're also set out in the resolution. Staff recommendation is to adopt the resolution at this time this evening, and you have a sample motion. I'd be happy to take any questions you might have. I will anticipate one question. This is the exact same resolution, but for the dates but for the dates that you did last year. There's been no additional street closures added or subtracted. Same thing you saw last year.
Okay.
Well, unless anyone has any questions, I move to approve the resolution 2025-016 as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
So next item, also related to the Oyster Festival, Resolution 2025-017 is a designation of no parking areas, enforcement and towing during the 2025 Oyster Festival. Again, the same section stipulates from the same plan stipulates that pursuant to a resolution, the Urbana Town Council in Virginia Department of Transportation parade permit approval, the following streets are designated no parking areas within the corporate limits of the town between the dates and times indicated in order to ensure pedestrian safety, expedited movement of fire and rescue vehicles, and safe parade operations. Again, the no parking areas, dates, and times are enumerated in the master plan as well as the resolution. And again, no changes here to what you saw last year.
Do I have a motion on that?
To approve resolution 2025-017 as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item, Urbana Main Street Grant Report.
All right.
Okay.
Others will be speaking to this as well. But just for background, the Urbana Main Street program has successfully completed their Main Street startup under a community vitality grant for which the town served as the fiscal agent. The Main Street program is now taking on another community vitality grant of $15,000 for wayfinding signs. The town will not be serving as the fiscal agent on this project, but will be involved as to the placement and other regulatory factors. And there was a request, I think it came from Mr. Tuning, to get a report on the awarding of that grant. And we've got representatives here this evening as well as the liaison. I think Councilmember Hampton wanted to say a few things.
Okay. Everything? Would please? Yes. Okay, so again, Mary Hanson, Council Liaison for Urbana Main Street. And we're so excited. This is our second grant. So this is 2 years in a row. We applied for these grants from Department of Housing and Community Resources. And last year's was mostly for infrastructure and developing our nonprofit status. And so we have that nonprofit status that not only Urbana Main Street, but other organizations in our community that don't have nonprofit status can hitchhike on, like the Urbana Cat Project, like what is the other?
Friends of Urbanna.
Friends of Urbana. And yeah, so there are a number of organizations. So we're pleased to be able to do that. We, as part of our strategic planning session in the spring, one of the things that we wanted to do was to apply for this kind of next grant. So Urbana Main Street, the program in National Main Street, has kind of a tried and true path of how communities develop their programs. And this next phase is kind of the next step. After that, really, the next step requires our having a staff person. Doesn't have to be a full-time staff person, part-time staff person. So we continue to look toward that in order to be able to move on in the next, I don't know, 3-4 years to the next phase. But in the meantime, we have this wonderful opportunity to apply for grants. This one is a wayfinding grant. And so what wayfinding is, it's signage. You know, how do people find their way around your community? And that's something that as a council, I know the previous council, that we talked about how poor our signage is for getting around. I know that we've had a sign to be placed at the bottom of Virginia Street that says Marina that way or something like that. That's still just, it hasn't happened. Well, one of the ways, again, that Urbana Main Street can support the town is we can continue to apply for grants to take care of some of these things that the town can't afford to do because our budget is so tight. We know how incredibly tight our budget is. So we're an auxiliary asset for the town. We were granted 7 signs. There was a proposal. If you want to see the proposal, you could talk to Megan or to Sarah Jane Wyatt. They're the 2 folks who really put together this application and got it granted. So 15,000, and Megan will tell you more about where we're going to start with it because we need to start somewhere and we need to complete the project by a year from the end of September. So that means we're going to need, at times, we're going to we're going to need some feedback from council, some, yes, we're in favor of this, or no, we're not in favor of that kind of thing from council in order to really march this along, because we can't wait for 2 years on this or we lose the money, which would be a shame. So Megan can tell you a little bit more about the kind of signage. They're going to be working with a group that does signage design for a lot of the Main Street programs, and she'll tell you more about that. So again, there is some continuity. It's not going to be anything kooky or gimmicky, but I think you're going to be really excited to hear what she has to say. So thanks for doing this, Megan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
So yes, on behalf of Main Street, I would like to talk about this grant that we have just won. It's a $15,000 grant announced originally by Governor Youngkin from Virginia Main Street through Main Street America. We are partnering with Arnett Muldrow, which is a nationally recognized firm that specializes in this signage planning. And again, they've worked with a lot of Main Street communities like Cape Charles, Onancock, West Point, Bristol, plenty of other places. So they're essentially experts in this field, and we trust them. And they did a lot of research on our area before even talking to us for the first time. So we were very impressed with them. Um, they have even said that they can provide and help us with resources that can actually help track how this investment will improve tourism in our town, which I think is really, really awesome. Um, so part of what we envision for the project is this interactive sign. And so here we will talk about this kayak access point again. We really want to highlight the Blue Water Kayak Trail. So this would sort of be like an interactive sign down at the marina that will highlight all of this kayak trail. We also will be putting, hopefully, some signage, designing some signage that will point to where people can get in and out of the water with said kayak or paddleboard or canoe. Obviously it goes without saying, our waterfront is our biggest asset here, and our paddling here in the creek was just featured in a regional travel article. So it brought up that you could, launch a kayak at the town marina. And so these are the types of things that are being marketed and advertised while there is this sitting still
Unfinished.
happening.
Mhm.
Yeah. So obviously creating the access point will bring visitors, support small businesses, and provide locals with ways to enjoy the waterways. So I just want to say, I hear you, Ted. I definitely hear you. I appreciate all that you are doing to make this happen. I just had it in here already to bring up that we were advised that because the footprint is less than 1/10 of an acre, it's not subject to the Chesapeake Bay Act. And I believe that the Chesapeake Bay Act allows for a direct and clear pathway to water access. And I realize that's probably different than.
I never spoke to the Chesapeake Bay Act, but you're absolutely right, because it's a water dependent use.
Right.
But
I understand that's different from like the flat wetlands
Mhm.
situation that you were speaking on.
Right.
So anyway, I realized that we can't ask for permission to move the fence or move forward with the volunteers that we have that are willing to do the work, by a specific day, because we don't have this permit yet. But, it would be in our best interest. I mean, time is of the essence with the grant money that we do have. If we could get this done sooner rather than later, so we don't miss out on this opportunity. That also does not include the other signs that we are prepared to do in the rest of town, so I'll just set that aside. But obviously it would be really great to have all of this in action by the high season next year, like
Right.
spring.
Yep.
So yeah, benefits are obvious to doing all of this, and Urbana Main Street is committed to managing and maintaining this project long term. And we're really excited to have acquired the grant. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about even more opportunities here in the future because we are actively applying for and looking for more grants for more projects that we have on our list of things to do. So thank you.
Good job.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
Everything. Okay.
Our future.
Yeah,
Right here,
that's right.
right here.
All right, 10B.
Going off topic, you all do have a copy of the VMRC application now.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right, 10B. We're going to go, can you move us up to the images? So I'm going to introduce this, but I think the chair of the finance committee will have more to say. The photographs that you're going to see here in a minute are of the welcome sign that's right out here as you're coming into town from the Remlick side. And it needs to be replaced. Any cost would come from general maintenance funds, although the project was not anticipated in the budget. And so therefore, anything that comes up later in the year, we might have to put that off. So you can kind of see the condition of the sign now. And this sign, front side, major sign coming in, historic Urbana, and the back side going out, thank you for visiting Urbana. Okay, if you want to slide it up. These were renderings, design renderings that were offered up by the Hayeses and working with the sign company. This got looked at by the finance committee, and what they would prefer to do is go back to the original scheme, but maintain the same message front and back on both sides. So even replacing out the sign coming into town from the bridge. Okay. You want to slide up one more? That would, and the price, the pricing there would be altered obviously because we're talking about different signs and or different, color schemes and everything, but we also wouldn't be paying tax. I have been in contact directly with the sign company, Images and Art, which is noted there in the bottom corner. They've done the sign that's down at the marina. When you come across the bridge and you make the slight turn, the ramps to your right, that marina sign right there, they're the ones that did that. And I've got a couple of their signs at the River House, and they do nice work. They do nice work. It's like that's with that, Councilman Wilson, you want to talk a little bit about the finance committee?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much wholeheartedly green lighted this. We really appreciate the Hayes doing the legwork on this. Mr. Hayes sent me the data sheet for the product. I mean, it's a polyurethane that's UV stable and heat stable, and they're gonna route it out. It's gonna be a good looking sign. We decided if we're gonna do one, we might as well do two. Yeah, that's the same data sheet. I think the only question we had is after it was brought up about the color scheme change. And I'm not a designer. Were you able to make any progress on that? That was really the only question. They have a tan brown, I believe, or tan brown tan that would match our current
I like
signs.
I like the blue the best
like
on both.
But
sides.
other than that, I mean, it seems like a real solid option. It's not terribly expensive. Might as well go ahead and do them both because having our town welcome sign falling apart is not a good look
Not a
for the
good
town.
look. Not a good look.
I asked him, could he replicate that? And he said basically it's a tan on brown.
So
And that he could, I think it's in the chart there.
Right.
He could do that, but he could also do what he had proposed to the Hazes. So
I like the
I like
blue.
the blue.
I like
Yeah, I like
blue and
white.
white,
Yeah.
either way.
Yep.
Yep, and I agree. We need to do this.
all right, so the quote there, the 1659 and the fiscal impact again, that's with taxes. This would be without taxes. But I need to confirm that this was for one sign, and because we're talking about doing two signs.
So we can just double it at this point, just to.
Yeah, so it's the
Go ahead.
1575.
Yeah.
Yep.
to get
If you
it
just
through.
It wouldn't be more than that. Maybe we.
It's-
we could
it's-
get it
so then I guess-
set up.
It's 30,
Yeah.
150.
The decision then, I guess, other than, it's a recommendation by finance that we green light it. The question is whether we go with the recommended blue and white.
Can we do blue and blue?
No, so what it is,
No.
Won't show
Yeah,
up.
Actually, Sandy,
Yeah, 'cause
since
you have to
you
route
gave
it.
us a thing, do you want to step up here and explain? Or Jim?
What Ted said, you gotta go with that or that or that and that. Because it's solid.
Yeah, 'cause it's either gonna be a-
solid piece.
Yeah.
It's a reveal. So if you
It's a-
do
right.
A,
see.
that's what you got.
I see.
Gotcha.
And the back.
You can't do top left and bottom right.
Right. No.
Because of the material.
I like the blue
I like
Urbana.
A.
Yeah,
Option
A, me too.
I must have missed the finance committee meeting.
You
but-
did.
You did.
But, where's the money coming from?
general fund.
No, General fund under
General fund.
maintenance.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, if everybody's in agreement on the A option, go ahead and do the motion.
Okay.
To authorize replacement of the welcome signs
Both, two signs.
I said signs.
Okay,
Yeah.
On the west and east side of town
there you go.
at a cost of $15.75 per, for a total of $31.50, give or take, since we're doing two. Option A with the, and with appreciation to the volunteers
Yes.
included.
All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you all, Sandy.
That's nice.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
that'd be the
You
the
guys are
main thing at the
amazing.
Oyster Festival. What do they call it?
the grand
The
marshal.
Grand.
I think they
I
should
think they
be.
should be too.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great.
We're gonna go for
Quick
that.
ride.
Pam.
They wouldn't ride.
Move on.
You can ride in the car instead of me.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move on.
You'll be-
This is the, water tower logo issue. Go all the way back, please, Christine. You have happy fingers over there? Yeah, that's good. We'll start there. Okay, so in your packet, the agenda item summary, so there'd been earlier consideration about doing a logo on the tank and, it was, not included in the budget. Some reconsideration was asked. Again, Finance Committee met earlier this week and discussed the matter. The basic design options are there. Oyster shells by themselves, are going to run around $10,170.
Yeah.
And the Urbanna Oyster Festival pitch would run about 15,255. I have asked for, but have not received a sort of a combination of oyster shells with the word Urbanna, but figure it's going to be between $10,000 and $15,000. Okay. Now, the other piece of this is if you all decide to do this, the water tank has to be empty. Now, because the condensation will mess up the paint. All right. Now, I understand in some memory, some recent history memory, you all have been through this one time before. To paint the exterior of the tank and it's due for another painting, you have to completely drain the tank or the condensation messes up the adhering of the paint. So for 2 weeks, you're going to have to live off of whatever the well pumps into a mobile distribution tank. And the water, it ties into the water system from there. This will be completely out of operation. So the idea of, well, what if we do the painting and then we come back and do the logo means you're draining the tank twice.
Right.
And
Which
you're
I
going
asked about
four-
plan Bs again.
And
What
you,
what are the cost?
and you have 4 weeks and you have 4 weeks of downtime as opposed to just 2. So please understand, at some point in time, the painting of the tank has to get done.
Okay, so we
Okay.
all need to plan a mass town vacation.
Or no showers.
Yeah, that's right. Or no shower.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, we need to be clear that the
Shower.
regular painting is regulatory. It has to be done.
Right,
And how much
and-
is that?
8,000.
And that's already paid for or budget, I'm sorry, not paid for, that's budgeted.
So the 10 to 15 is
That'll
in
work.
addition to the 8,000.
Yes.
Or a tank that I've never even really seen it. I mean, it's not like it's front and center visible. Everybody sees it all the time.
Like
That's-
West-
Don't see it, but some trees could be removed. And I brought this.
No
back up.
way. No way, Jose.
Let her talk.
One at a time.
You were not here and neither were you, Mary. And Bill, I've already discussed this with Bill. Bill and I were under the same impression that it was gonna be another 2,000 to put the oysters on.
Right,
Or another,
yeah,
5,000.
5,000, 7,000. to put
right.
The, something else on. But when we met, I was invited to the finance committee meeting, by Bill and,
Which you all are.
and everyone. So I understand that, but there are options and we're not gonna do the drain down before the Oyster Festival. It'll be after the first of the year that we do that. So there are some options. So if I can get some of these options to get that done before the painting, then I want to have that done if we can get the money, not from the town, but I'm talking about grants. Because these water towers, what I've learned, they're followed like the love sign, the boots, the horses, the beehives, you know, they're followed. And all across the United States. I'm not talking about what's done here in the state. Ted said he had seen peaches, he has seen baseballs,
Uh-huh.
for different, you know, states. So I'm gonna work towards doing this. If it fails, it fails, but I'm at least gonna give it my best. And so, you know, hopefully it won't charge the
So
company.
hopefully you can find something that's much less expensive for us to consider.
What I
Right.
brought up was only because this is back out tonight is because we thought there was only a few $1,000s difference, not thousands of dollars difference.
If we said, home of the, Urbana Oyster Festival, would the Oyster Festival pay for
Well,
part of it?
that's-
Because
I-
it's
I do-
advertising.
Yeah, I do have
That's
a
right.
meeting with them, to see what their stance would be on it. And also, well, they're gonna cut down some trees. If,
Well, okay, but before we go too further, can
Yeah.
can I finish with my
Yeah, yeah.
presentation?
Like,
It's okay. It's all right, because things have changed
Okay.
since Tuesday.
Uh-oh.
All right, can we skip to the next one?
Okay.
All right, so in my spare time, when I'm not doing VMRC permits, I actually went up onto the property, and this is an older plat. And I did somebody referred to it as a derogatory type of surveying, but nevertheless, it's pulling rabbits out of your hat to do some surveying. There's now, as part of the, and forget this, this is now well 6. But as part of the well 6 installation, there is now off of this tower leg, 14 feet off of that leg, there's a security fence.
Oh.
Okay. And using this measurement and kind of figuring out, like I said, pulling rabbits out of my hat to figure out the surveying.
for orientation, where's town hall?
Town hall, this would be the Mullins property. That's right behind us.
Okay,
And you've got the parking lot and then town hall.
okay.
So we're down.
Okay, so we're looking up the hill.
You're looking up the hill.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
you're looking up the
the
hill.
Hamiltons are what's next door to our building. No.
Our building. is
Baylor.
back over here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is Mr. Mullins' property.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, all the way back up to the road.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
All right, so. Unfortunately, that's not the most recent plat. I went through to try to figure out how far off this leg was this line. And near as I could tell, it was somewhere in the woods before it's a roll and it drops off. Just before the drop off is about where it is. Forget all that. Next one, please. The one I asked you to add today. We got this plat today. This is trade-off piece for the future.
Yeah.
Got
This
it, got
this is
it.
the land swap that we did with Mullins.
Right.
I did a quick measurement and this is about 75 feet. So you don't have all of this to take the trees off of.
Who owns that part
Mullins.
Mr. Mullins now owns that because that was
for that?
that piece of.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Is that piece you're talking about in the HOA?
This,
Yeah,
No.
in the subdivision.
would be the
Okay.
It would,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So it's gonna be part of that HOA.
It would be part, it's tied in, it's in the lot
Right.
hereby vacated.
Right.
So
Right.
it comes into the big
Yeah,
open field
okay.
behind us. But you don't have 133 feet or 145 feet down to this line.
You don't
Well,
have-
You gotta do it, it's less than 70, it's about 75 feet.
So where's this other parcel that we traded? Where's that at again? Sorry.
You go up a red hill and come around.
It's the first left off of
The first
Red
one
Hill.
off of Red Hill? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay,
Crossing the cemetery
Mhm.
and it's right at the curve of the road.
okay.
So, your ability to take off trees is limited.
Okay.
Without getting.
Yeah,
permission
it's
from the
exposed the
property-
ugly tower.
Without getting permission.
Without getting permission, yeah. But
I get it.
basically, Bay Design's waiting for a decision from, or word from me, decision from you. Do they want to survey that line so you can see what trees can come out? So you've got surveying costs, tree removal cost, in addition to 10 to 15,000.
Well, the finance committee decided that we were gonna push this off until April so that it would give Marjorie time to try and see if she could find other money. And I think that's the limiting factor. If you can come up with the money, then we can get it surveyed.
And, okay, so you want to do money first, then survey. Okay,
Yes.
all right. Resource,
And-
okay.
Because I have talked to somebody if they were about doing the trees and that would be, they would take them down, not a problem.
But you don't have to do anything with the trees for us just to paint it.
Oh, no.
No.
Just to paint, well,
There's probably one
But that
on the
question-
backside you do.
It's
it's
visual is what we're
Right.
talking.
And
Yeah.
if we wait till April, it's just another 8 months that we don't have to worry about it the next 20 years. from
20
now.
years, 20, 25 years, yeah, because that's what the paints are good this for that long.
and we can put it off till April.
I
Sounds
have a
like good.
question about Chris, could you go back to one of the design slides? It had the three options of oysters and Urbana Oyster Festival. Yeah, that. I just want to bring something up that was shared with me recently, actually by John Collimore. When they were looking at logos for Luna, and that apparently the public who is not an oyster focused public, what do they see those oyster shells as?
Lips,
Turds.
well, yeah.
Turds. Yeah, so when you've got it down, I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
so that, yeah, and so, even if it's not Oyster Festival, if it has the word Urbana or something
I was just
with
looking
it,
at
or,
Urbana, but I figured if we would do like Oyster Festival and have the open
Yeah.
oyster,
yeah,
we could maybe get some assistance.
just let's really pay attention
Yeah,
to what
the
it looks
first
like,
two-
because we don't want to be the laughing stock.
No, we don't. want
Okay,
Thirdville.
all right, no, we don't want
Yeah.
Birdville, no. So, okay,
Yeah.
I know, no, Turdana.
Yeah. Third Anna.
Yeah.
Well-
Good.
And in defense of the designer, and it wasn't me, I think they probably did the closed oyster shell because there's so much other stuff in that design.
Yeah,
Home of the Oyster Festival, all big letter, so
The ones that up top that.
that, yeah.
well, think about it, and I'm assuming that if we do vote for that, that we'd have some input into choosing.
Oh, yeah,
Which would
absolutely.
good,
yeah.
okay, okay.
I mean,
But
that-
you're never gonna forget this, are you?
No, I
Yeah.
don't, but I think I just think that, I don't know, this just seems like if I can get it paid for, then I want to do it.
Okay,
We can't, then we can't, we'll just have a blue tower. that
Yeah.
You can't see.
yeah.
And that's serious, I said.
Right, so, basically, we're
Yeah.
waiting to move
This
forward.
is really just an update.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, so no action, but I've gotten direction. Okay.
All right. Announcements, requests.
Well, you know what my thoughts are on the tower. Second Saturday is September 13th. Sweet Justice will be playing. At this point, we have Positive Pizza again, which has been my go to, who has also sold out every single time. But T-Boys will be back as well, and
Good.
that was the Cajun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cousins, I talked to Cousins Lobster, and they want to be on the calendar for next year,
Good.
so we'll have.
They're very
someone else.
popular.
Then there's a Hibachi Mobile, which had come out one of the other times, I think it was in July.
Yeah.
And, from what I understand, they want to come back as well, so.
And then we have the mocktails lady
the-
coming back, the mocktails.
Yes, and we need to find the pigskin fella.
Oh, is that Marty, the guy Marty?
I don't know if it was Marty or not, but I'll
Let's
ask.
see.
So anyway, that's about it. And, but other, for me, except for, don't poo-poo my idea away yet, just keep it, keep me in your good graces to get it.
Okay.
Okay, so, we'll do that as an announcement.
Good job. Okay, good. Okay,
so much.
So is
Thank
this
you.
an announcement time?
Yes.
Okay,
You're done, Margie?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. I was just
I sit on.
so now we're on more announcements.
Yep.
getting.
I'd like to ask Megan Hall to come back up to the podium and to receive Urbana Main Street was
Get your camera out, Larry.
was voted. Here we go.
Yeah,
Come on,
move
bud,
that.
come on over here.
Yeah, good, good.
We've got a better angle. Was voted second place for Main Streets by Riva. Visitor, the
Great.
Riva Visitors Guide.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at-
Don't worry,
Look at
I- we can-
Larry.
thank you.
Look this way.
Yeah.
Larry. need
Look
to-
over this way, there you go.
Nice.
One more. Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Oh, so thank you. That's pretty good.
Larry, you didn't put it in a frame?
I just got it.
Oh,
This seat.
all right, we'll
So,
forgive you.
yeah, oh, thank you.
Very
Yes.
good, Megan. Awesome what you do.
Great job.
Both of
There
you.
was nothing else in that folder, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Close meeting.
Closed meeting, the clerk has the motion.
Okay.
Move that the town of Urbana Town Council convene and close meeting in accordance with section 2.2 3717A3 of the Code of Virginia to discuss or consider the acquisition of real property for a public purpose, the location of town hall, or discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the town.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Second?
sorry.
You need a first.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so moved.
so moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. Voice vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
And again,
Aye. All right. Thank you all for coming. You're welcome to come back.
When we
Want to hang around? We won't be here much longer.
Megan.
10 minutes tops. Somebody asked questions.
that never happens.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Can somebody read what?
Yeah, let me
You
see
do it,
if I can
Mary.
find it. It's your
It's
turn.
going up.
Okay, okay. Now therefore be it resolved that the town council of the town of Urbana hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Freedom of Information Act were heard, discussed, and considered by the town council, the town of Urbana in the closed meeting, to which this certification resolution applies. And only such public business matters were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the town council of the town of Urbana. Okay,
So moved.
And reconvene in open session.
okay, and we have reconvened in open session.
So moved.
Okay, and we have to have a voice, we have to have.
Second,
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have to certify,
we
right?
have to ask.
Okay. And so,
I so certify. Aye, yes.
yeah,
I so certified.
I so
I
certify.
so certify.
I so certified.
I so certified.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
It was a good meeting.
Did you follow
There's a lot of good stuff in this meeting.